Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hennessy. I created this channel to talk through all things investing in Dominican Republic, working from home and traveling. In this video, I'm actually going to talk through something that happened to me while I was traveling, but before I do so, I'm going to go through some history of it and then try to explain what's going on. So, as you guys may know, I have a apartment in the house in Dominican Republic, and I also have a plot of land. So this video is going to be about the plot of land, how I purchased it, and then the problem that I encountered while I was traveling, actually. So, for those of you who don't know, the plot of land actually was bought. Like an opportunity. The person that owned the house, it actually had a house on the plot of land. The person that owned the house was losing it to the bank. They weren't able to pay their monthly mortgage, and so their credit was going to get messed up, and they didn't want that to happen. So they were looking to sell the house. All they were looking to do was for someone to take on whatever their mortgage was. So the person actually knew my cousin, who contacted my mom, and so my mom and I were like, sure, let's invest in this, because it was actually by being sold at a really good price. So the lady was losing the house because she owed the bank about 2.5 million pesos, which is about like 50K, $50,000, give or take the currency rate, so it could be a little bit less. So she was losing the house and she didn't want to lose it. She was just selling it for whatever she owed the bank. So I was able to take that on, and we, with a lawyer, made a selling contract. And really at the time, all I was doing was kind of paying the mortgage. And then at the end of last year, I actually finished paying off the mortgage and, got the title under my name at the beginning of this year. So again, as I mentioned, the land had a house. And when I went to go see the house, it was in really bad shape. The house was built over 50 years ago. The roof was kind of cracking. It was really nasty in there. It looked like it hadn't been cleaned in a while. And I know, like, you could fix it up or whatever, but the thing with DR is that I don't know, like certain houses, it's like, is it really worth fixing up? At the time, I didn't think it was worth it. So what I did was that I paid someone to completely knock the house down. Now, hindsight is 2020. I kind of wish I didn't do that if I didn't have plans to start building right away, and I'm gonna explain why, because this has now led to a different type of problem. I kind of wish I would have just left the house there, even though it would have been like closed up, and then at the time of me wanting to do something, then I could move forward with knocking the house down. But again, you live and you learn. I was just like, oh, I don't want this house here. I don't want to like deal with it. I'm gonna just knock it down. So I knocked down the house, and basically every certain couple of months, I used to send someone to go make sure that everything was fine. And it was like, I think a year ago or so ago, in DR, every year it's hurricane season, right? You go through a hurricane, even if it's not a big hurricane, it rains a lot, which the rain now feeds the weeds and it just gets really overgrown. So about a year or so ago, I think the, what you call in DR, el ayuntamiento, which is like the company that pretty much handles like zoning or like certain things with like property, they put a ticket on this property because of like the overgrown weeds and the garbage. So I cleaned it out, and then again every couple of months I used to go. So the issue with the property as well, which is why I wish I would have not knocked down the house, is that there's a problem in DR with people throwing garbage. So people would literally like wrap their garbage and like go to other areas to throw their garbage out, which becomes to so many, I think speaks to so many issues within the country in terms of the infrastructure of sanitation. It talks about the education. It talks about just so many aspects of it, which sometimes we don't take into consideration. But again, this is when I'm saying, like, I wish I would have like went back and not knocked down the house, because if there's a house there, there's a less likelihood that people will come from elsewhere to throw garbage. But if people see an empty plot of land, the more they would actually go and throw garbage. At the time, I did figure out a couple of people that were throwing garbage. Some people were right from the neighborhood. There was actually someone that's right across the street that has a colmado, a grocery store, and they would sometimes throw the garbage. This prompted, obviously, like, it got addressed. I told them they couldn't do that. And for a while, the property was cleaned. But then this year, I had sent someone in May, I believe, and I was like, hey, can you just go check on it to make sure that, one, I didn't get a ticket again, that there's not much garbage. And the person went and checked on it and told me, oh, everything is good. There are like a bit of overgrown weeds, but they're not like super big. So I said, okay, let's try to see if we can get someone to like clean it up. This is someone that I have that manages or does maintenance for me. So I was like, hey, can you just try to find someone to like clean it up? They were like, yeah. It kind of fell out of my plate. Like, I forgot about it. They, I guess, also forgot about it, and the property never got like cleaned. Over the summer, as I mentioned, every year is hurricane season in DR, and sometimes, although hurricanes do not hit as hard, there always tends to be a season where it just rains a lot. And of course, as I mentioned, I sent someone in May. That usually starts in like ending of July, going into August, beginning of September. So it started to rain a lot during that period. And of course, the more it rains, the more it feeds the weeds, the more they grow, and you just get this abundance of overgrown weeds. And then on top of that, people throwing their garbage there. I'm pretty sure it made the situation really uncomfortable for the neighbors. But as I was traveling, I ended up getting a voice note from a neighbor that has a property across the street. And I'm gonna just play the voice note for you guys, because at first I was angry. I was angry at their tone. I was angry at some of the things that they were saying, and I can break it down for you guys at like what made me like red flag, like why are you talking like this type of thing. Like, you don't know me, I don't know you. You know, there's a line, there's a way that you speak to people. And of course, like, that made me react to the way that they sent me the message. And then it just became this whole thing that was kind of really annoying to deal with while I was traveling. So I'm gonna just play the video for you guys.
Aquí en la esquina hay un solar que está vacío y la hierba está muy alta y están tirando basura. Los ratones y el mal olor nos está comiendo. Aquí por un poquito hay una desgracia ahorita porque los muchachos de al lado dijeron que ahí no van a poner basura y la tiraron para el medio de la calle. Ahora el medio de la calle está con varias fundas de basura y por un poquito hay un problema. Nosotros como vecinos debemos de buscar una solución porque primeramente no queremos esa esquina en la condición que está. Segundo, queremos evitar una desgracia. Las cosas se pueden evitar y la única manera de evitarla es limpiando el solar y manteniéndolo en condición. Yo espero que nos den una respuesta al respecto porque ya los vecinos estamos hablando y vamos a constituirnos y vamos a ir a poner una denuncia por ese solar, pero no una denuncia de una llamada telefónica, sino una denuncia formal. Necesitamos, por favor, a la mayor brevedad que puedan resolver ese problema antes que la sangre corra, porque puede correr la sangre y lo podemos evitar. Así que nada, bendiciones y esperando una pronta respuesta y que sea positiva. Bye.
Now, that was the voice note I got while I was traveling. And as you guys can hear, the tone is really like strong. So that took me already just like, whoa, I don't know who you talking to, right? Like, I feel like I'm a really nice person, but I'm also from New York. Like, you better watch yourself. Like, you don't know me, I don't know you, right? So they sent me that voice note. And as you guys hear, one, the tone. Two, I totally agree. It should be cleaned. If it stinks and there's rats, like that's also not cool. Totally get it. But again, the tone and the delivery were not the best. And then the third thing that kind of threw me off for a loop was that at the end, she mentions blood running on the street. La sangre va a correr. And to me, that's sort of like a threat, right? Like, why would you say that? Like, whose blood is going to be running? Why would you even bring that into the conversation? Again, I'm from New York. What do you mean, right? Like, what are you talking about here? So, of course, my first reaction was to respond to this. So I actually responded and I told them, I wish I would have recorded it. Now, all this is through WhatsApp and I didn't record it. But I basically, send them a message back like, hey, thank you for letting me know. You could have easily just told me, hey, the property is getting a little bit out of control. It needs to be cleaned. Can you send someone to clean it? And I happily would have sent someone to go and clean it because one, I've done it before. Two, it is my property. I want to maintain it clean, right? I don't want it to look a mess. But then I also told them, I said, hey, you don't know me. I don't know you. You can't just go around threatening people because I want to understand whose blood is going to be running through the streets, right? Because it ain't going to be mine. You tell me. And she also spoke about like, putting una denuncia, going to the station and basically, opening up a report on this. Which again, like, I'm not against, like, I feel like that you would tell someone who you have hit up to kind of clean the property. They said they're not doing it. And you're like, okay, fine, bet. You're not doing it. These are going to be the actions I'm taking. I was never against cleaning the property. So again, she could have easily hit me up and said, hey, the property needs cleaning. And I would have done it, right? But now you're hitting me up with this tone and this like type of threatening effect. Like, I know you ain't talking to me, right? Like, I know you're not talking to me because you don't know me. I don't know you. So I hit her up like that. She hit me up. She's like, oh, no, I wasn't threatening. I was just saying that apparently, so this is what she had explained to me. She said apparently during that day, there was an issue because the neighbor that's right next to the property, he saw someone throwing the garbage and he came down and started like wilding out on them. And then he took the garbage that they had and like threw it in the middle of the street. And basically there was an altercation. So when she said that there would be blood running, through the streets, she more so meant because, the people would be fighting or whatever the case is. Again, tone and delivery. There's certain things like you didn't really have to tell. Again, you could have just hit me up and said, hey, the weeds are overgrown. There's garbage. Can you send someone to clean it, right? And that's it. I don't need to know about this other stuff and like, no. Because again, I'm not against cleaning the property. So basically, we went back and forth a little. She sent me videos. At the end of it, I was like, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I totally want to clean this property. I am sending someone actually, like, this was like a Friday, a Thursday or a Friday. And the next day I had someone there cleaning up. Like, I'm not against it. So anyways, what happened after that is that I sent someone to clean the property. They, on the first day, because there was so much overgrown weed, they were able to like cut things down. For most of it, they were able to bag it. but some of it they had to like kind of put it in the corner, and they did hit me up and they were like, hey, we're going to have to come back because it's just too much. So before they even told me that though, they were like, oh, we came, and as soon as we got here, this lady approaches us and she's like, oh, we don't want you guys to clean. What we want is for construction to be done. So now the person tells me that, and again, I get fueled up. Like, I don't know who these people think they're dealing with, because I ain't it, okay? So as soon as like he tells me that, I already know it's the lady from across the street. So I hit her up and I said, hey, if you have something to say, if you want to get something off your chest, you say it to me. You do not send it, you do not say it to someone that I'm sending there to do a service. They have nothing to do with the property. They don't have no say on what's going to happen with the property. So why would you even tell them? Why would you bring them into that conversation? They're there to provide a service I'm paying them for, and that's about it. You telling them that you don't want them to clean, that you want construction to happen, what does that have to do with them? They're not the ones that are going to pay for it. And on top of that, it's like, if you want construction to happen, it's going to be on my timeline, baby. This is my property. Unless you want to give me the money, which I told her. I said, if you want to give me the money, I ain't going to be mad at it, okay? If you want to say, here's a couple million pesos to start construction because we hate the sight of this, I will not be mad. But you are not about to tell me what I need to do with my property, right? So I told her that. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just like, you know, the property really does need construction. Again, it's gonna happen on my timeline because you don't know my financials. I don't know yours. So if you want to give me the money so I can get it started, amen. But if you don't, then you need to shut the up. So that was that. And then obviously the person cleaned. As I mentioned, they were only able to pick up a part of it and leave another part somewhat in the corner. So then that night she sends me another message. And she's like, oh, these people, you see, this is what I was saying. These people came here and they cleaned and they left a whole bunch of stuff in the corner. And I was like, sweetie, because now I gotta like bring it down to like another level. I'm like, sweetie, it was a lot for them to do in one day. They got through whatever they could, and the guy informed me that they would be back tomorrow. Are you good? Like, can you calm down? She's like, oh, okay, I just didn't know. I didn't want that to stay like that. Yes, it's okay. I got this. I know. So much so that I not only the person went back obviously and cleaned everything, but I also, because I had as I told you guys, I demolished the house. There were still like bricks and stuff somewhat around, so I even paid someone to go and like just basically pick up everything, like just leave it just dirt. Like there shouldn't be no construction brick stuff anywhere. Just kind of like leave it plain, and I'll put them sending me a video of it. And again, while they were doing that, she approached them and she was like, oh, what they should really do is do construction. Like, I was like, yo, this lady, you see, at that point, I think I was less mad. And I was just like, this lady obviously just has issues because she's obviously not learning. So basically that's where it landed. I cleaned the property. I ended up speaking to the guy that went, because that was the other issue I was having. Sometimes I would send someone and they just wouldn't go, but I spoke to this guy and I'm basically going to pay him once a month to go there and pick up the garbage, make sure that if people are throwing garbage, because it's going to happen, that he's like picking it up once a month and, you know, it gets properly like thrown out. So that's pretty much it. That's my little drama. While I was traveling, I just know, like, oh my God, I was so mad at first, but then later on, I was like, you know what, this lady, one, she's probably an older lady. I don't know her. I've never met her. But I was just like, she's probably also like one of those people that they have this one property that's their whole life. They really value it, which is great. Like, I'm not saying, I'm not against it. Obviously, the look of a neighborhood is important anywhere. Like, it's not only in the US where it's like, you know, the look of your neighborhood brings up your property value. This is anywhere. But again, I'm not against keeping the property cleaned. I'm not against doing upkeeping. I'm not against doing maintenance. I'm not against it. And I do want to do construction, which hopefully I can do next year. I've been working on architecture plans, and I hope to share what my plans is for this property because it's actually really cool and I can't wait. But again, it's on my timeline. I have to put financials together. I have to see, make architectural plans because I want it to look a certain way. I want it to have certain aspects. I don't want to just do something just to do it. So all these things are like a work in progress type of thing. And I don't want to leave the plot of land just as a plot of land. I do plan to build, and it's all a matter of time and a matter of money. Like I need this. I need this, okay? So hopefully that's something I get to share with you guys soon. And when I say soon, not anytime soon, but soon enough, about what are my plans and, hopefully how that will work out and how I will be able to do construction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was less about about investing in DR, but hiccups that you encounter, especially as a first gen. I'm investing. I'm not just investing anywhere. I'm investing back home. Like this is home to me. So yeah, this was it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. And please drop any comments, questions. I love to chat. I try my best to reply to every comment. So definitely leave your thoughts below. See ya.